Hey guys, so on this slide, and these we're going to kind of do an example from each of the next three slides. They're similar, and you're going to be using mental math to help you solve. So the task, right, is to divide by either 1/10 or by 1/100th, and you're going to then kind of get one of these solutions down here. So when you take 3.5 and you divide it by 1/100th, one thing you can do is you can kind of whoop away these decimals, right? So that you end up multiplying whole numbers, which is a whole lot easier. So what you can do here is you can say, oh, well, I'm going to whoop this decimal by essentially multiplying it by 10, right? Totally legal, so long as I do the same thing over here. But when I do just one whoop, I still have 1/10, right? I still have a decimal in one of my problems. So I'm going to whoop again. So now this is 1 or 1.0, right? Because our decimal has moved right here. Whole number, whee! So right here, though, I need to whoop this one more time to make it equivalent, right? An equivalent amount of whoops or multiplying it by the same amount on each side. So this became 350. Sorry about my phone. Clowns are here. And we are going to divide it by 1, right? A whole lot easier than thinking about 3.5 divided by 1/10. Woo! You can just think about what's 350 divided by 1, and then you can go ahead and find your answer and drag it right up here. On the next one over here, you're going to do something real similar. But what's going to happen here is you're not always going to be dividing either just by a tenth or just by 100th, but the same strategy can be used. So you want to get rid of the decimals when possible. So we can undo this by whoop, whooping it twice to create a whole number of 25. We essentially multiplied it by 100. We're going to do the same thing here. Whoop, whoop, two whoops to mimic how many we had over here, multiplying it by 100. And now this turns into a 50. So our problem becomes 25 divided by 50. And when you do that, you know that 25 is going to be divided by 50. So you can think about, will it fit a whole amount of times? Well, no, right? 50 doesn't fit into 2, 50 doesn't fit into 25, but 50 can fit into 250 when you see it like this. So then you can use that strategy to go ahead and find your solution. The final one here is you are going to be thinking about estimating, right? So kind of using mental math, using estimating to see if your answer becomes reasonable or completely unreasonable, which can become really handy when you're working with decimals. So you can use kind of the same type of strategy. So you're going to think about not necessarily rounding to the nearest whole number, you're going to think about rounding to the nearest compatible number, meaning when I think about my facts here, right? So if I whoop this, whoop, whoop, and I whoop this, whoop, whoop, and I end up with 59 divided by 7, right? Well, 59 really isn't a multiple of 7, right? If I count by sevens, I won't hit 59. But the closest compatible number means that when I do count by sevens, what's close, right? So if I count 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, um, 42, 49, 56, 63, right? So 56 and 63 really are the same distance of closeness, right? So you could choose either one. I'm going to choose 56. So then when you say, well, when you take 56 or 56 hundredths and you divide it by 7/10ths, you could still think about whoop, 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 whooping that. And now you've used a basic math fact to kind of help you get close.